everyone. This is episode 3 of Let's Be Social. I have a very special guest today. Her name is Dina Renon, and
Hi.
she is a model and actress. And I'm so excited to have her on here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Um,
so much for having me, B.
yeah, it's very exciting and really kicking off 2023 with lots of exciting guests. So I'm going to put it over to you, and I'm just going to ask you to just go with the flow and just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in modeling and acting, and we'll go from there.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast, to your interview, and it's so nice to meet you in person finally. And I just wanted to introduce myself to everybody. My name is Dina Renon, and I've been a model and an actor for my almost entire life. I started modeling when I was around 12 years old. And I first was introduced to modeling through a modeling school. I was inspired by my mom's friend's daughter who was already modeling. She was a little bit older than me, and she was like a teenager. She's beautiful, beautiful young lady. And I would see her in the flyers in the newspapers doing advertisements for clothing companies and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, like, this is something. And then she really inspired me. And so I was like asking my mom, like, I always wanted to get into the arts. I took piano lessons for a very long time, and I wanted to get into dancing, but I was the last of four, and money was tight when we were young, so I never got dance lessons. I really wanted to go for dance lessons. I wanted to do tap dancing and jazz dancing, but unfortunately I never got a chance to. And then all of a sudden one day my sister found an advertisement in the newspaper for a modeling course that was discounted. So my sister called up the modeling. I have a sister who's like 10 years older than me. So she was like mom number two. And she called up the modeling agency and got me in the course.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
You must have been through the roof. You must have been super excited.
I was so nervous that I couldn't even talk to the people over the phone. My sister had to talk for me, but I was only 12. But I was a very, and I still am, I'm a very, well, it doesn't come across that way in this interview, but I'm a very shy person. So, especially when I was younger. So wouldn't even be able to talk to people. So, when we were on the phone talking about the course, she got me in, and it was a very good course. It teaches you how to become a professional model, how to introduce yourself, how to dress the part, how to do your own makeup, how to walk on the runway, how to pose in front of the camera, all these things. And it was just so exciting for me. I loved it so much. Yeah.
Wow. So your family has had a big part in kind of your beginning story, and that's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. So what happened? How did you get started in modeling after you took the course? What happened from there?
Well, after you get the course, usually things just dwindle away, um, and nothing really happens for the majority of people. Really, it's a very small percentage of people who actually make it in the industry. Um, and there's different kinds of models and all that, but um, somehow my perseverance and my passion for modeling and also acting just continued. And I always tried to volunteer. Like, at first it was really rough. I wasn't getting anything, and I would get the odd booking. And when I got a booking, it was like, oh my God, I got a booking. What do I do? And I'd go and I'd do like a shoot or whatever. But I always wanted to keep involved. And I really do believe in perseverance and keep trying and keep believing in yourself, because it actually did work for me. I just loved it so much. I couldn't let go. And so I would volunteer to help for fashion shows and dress other models and peep through the curtain when they were on the runway doing the show, and
Mhm.
wishing it was me, like, and little by little, as I got older, opportunities started to show up. And one day, some clients from Tokyo, Japan came, and they were interviewing girls from the agency to go work in Japan. And so I was chosen to go work in Japan somehow. I was one of the only models. So I went on the airplane by myself to Japan when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a contract. It was sent to me, and I had to get a visa. It was made to keep things legitimate and safe for young girls going to work overseas. My mother did not come with me. I went by myself, and that was the first time I ever flew on an airplane.
Wow.
So it was very interesting and a very long trip. And I remember just like it was like Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver somewhere, and then Vancouver, Korea, and then Korea, Japan. Like it was like it took an entire day to get there. And as a young girl, it was like pretty shocking. And then when you get there, it's a very city, like big city kind of atmosphere, which I come from a very small town, country girl kind of thing. And it was very shocking to see all these people in one spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then from there, little by little, you just live and learn. And I feel that modeling is something that you get better with through experiences,
Mhm.
and even acting. Like you have to experience things in order to get better. And I experienced a lot of things.
I can
But
imagine.
back in the day when I first started modeling, we would have like things like contact sheets,
Yeah.
and they would like take pictures of us. Um, and then we would choose pictures, and then they would blow them up. So you would use like a lube to look at the pictures and then choose the ones to promote you.
Mhm.
So I have some stuff here to show you from when I first started modeling. This is when I was like super young. I was like 12, 13 years old in this picture. It's one
Beautiful.
of my first modeling pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, very nice.
yeah. And then little by little you progress.
Yeah.
And in Japan, I was given a lot of opportunities. I did really well in Japan, and I learned how to speak Japanese. I
Mhm.
also appeared in a couple of movies there, and I also hosted a show teaching English in Japanese.
Oh, wow.
Somehow I was I was able to pick up on the language, and I taught people how to speak English in Japanese.
So
Yeah, for a short period of time, but it was a great experience and I loved every moment.
that's amazing. How long were you in Japan for? Like, were you there?
Oh, I spent many, many years, like I would say close to 20 years
Oh, wow.
going back and forth. So when I was 16, of course, when I first went there, I was 16 years old, and I was still in high school. So I went for the summer vacation from high school. So it was only a 2-month contract. And then when I was 17, 18, I did the same. And then when I graduated, I was doing so well in Japan, I decided to go there and just stay there. So I did. And it was a very good decision for me
Yeah.
at the time. And so I would come back only for Christmas once a year, and I would work in Japan the
Wow.
rest of the time. My first agency was in Osaka, and then my second agency was in Tokyo.
Sort of like your second home almost.
Oh yeah, I spent at one point more time in Japan,
Mhm.
more time of my life in Japan than I did um, in Canada. But now I'm here and I work in Montreal and Toronto and Ottawa, and I'm acting as well. And I'm enjoying my career just as much here in Canada as I did in Japan. And I'm lucky enough to keep going somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what sort of inspires you to keep doing modeling and acting and like what inspires you? Is there one particular person? Like I know you said when you were younger, your friend's daughter kind of inspired you to kind of get into modeling, but as you've gone along, have you had like mentors or people that have inspired you along the way?
I think that my biggest inspiration comes from the work I've done in the past.
Yeah.
I see what I've done in the past. I've done so many different kinds of jobs. There's so many things that I've done, and I try to outdo what I've done in the past, because you only have to, I try to improve myself. That's my biggest goal. Like I look at what other people do, and of course I admire that, and it does inspire me, other work that people do. There's just so many new upcoming actors and so many new upcoming models and so many new things that are happening, that it's all an inspiration for me. And the work that I've done in the past, I look back on it and I think, how can I make myself even better?
Yeah.
So I try to focus on improving. I try to focus on perfecting my craft. I try to focus on always being positive and always believing and always like moving forward and hoping that new opportunities come and I'm ready for them.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to progress in my career.
I would say you would be actually more of a person that would inspire others because of the success you've had and the things that you've done, right?
Oh, thank you. I hope to. I do teach sometimes at a modeling school in Ottawa, and I see young upcoming models and actors come up, and I always try to keep them motivated and try to teach them through my experiences,
Yeah.
and hope to inspire them as well. Um, Everybody is just so different, and I know that we all have a goal in life, and you have to be very dedicated and very passionate about this industry, because it is very competitive, and it is very difficult to get ahead. But somehow, I don't know how, I was lucky enough to move forward. I want to show you this is kind of a cool poster that I did. Where is it? I put it of me in Japan. These are the type of jobs that kind of like show you
Fun.
it does look like me.
Yeah.
But I am like super young in this picture. I think I'm like 20 or something,
Okay. Wow.
18 or 20 years old.
That's
Like
super
this was
fun.
like a poster for like uh a stop on the highway. Like you have to, they have toll booths on the highways in Japan, and then they have posters that go up and stuff like that. And then I have this one from a department store. This is the payback. These are the paybacks that you get. Wait, oh yeah. This is a poster for a department store that I did.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, let me try to show you.
Yeah. That's
And
very
I was like on the sides of buildings. Like, this
nice.
is how happy I was, like, honored I was. Like, I would like be on the train, I look out the window, and there was my picture at the side of the size of a building, on the side of a building. And I
Wow.
was just like, why am I so fortunate to have this? Like, why am I so, because, and I was my own fan. There's like nobody around to say, oh, there's Dina. Like, nobody really knew who I was. And when I'm on the train, I have no makeup. I'm in jeans and a sweatshirt. I'm not really looking like a model or anything. And nobody knew who I was. I had to celebrate by myself. Oh my God, I'm on the side of the building. Like, and I was so happy. And these are the rewards that you get. And it means so much to me. I don't care about like, being famous and all that. I care more about my own personal goals and how much happiness it brings to me, because I love my work so much, so much. And I love the people I work with, really. I'm really lucky to have these experiences.
Well, I mean, those pictures, you look absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And, talking to you and everything, I can just tell you're very passionate about your craft. And, even in your social media, you're very passionate about, you know, getting yourself out there and everything. So it shows through, and just your positive attitude and everything towards life. I think it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. There is a lot of up and downs. But I think you have to experience a lot of downs to appreciate the good times.
It's
And those down times, all the rejection and all the hardships you go through in anything that you're trying to achieve are the stepping stones to success, because they motivate you to get better, to be better. A lot of people who they think, oh, I can never do that. They try to they will give up because they feel no. For me, it was like when I don't accomplish something, it's like, oh my gosh, well, how can I fix this? How can I get better? They just motivate me to work harder and try to achieve the goals that I'm trying to achieve. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
It's
would
it's it's tough though. It wasn't easy. It looks easy. And I think that's what professionals do. They make things look easy,
yes.
but nobody sees the work that goes behind it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hardships. It's not easy. It's like I think the perfect modeling scenario would be working with a perfect team, the people who know how to make the moment happen. Like, so you got a photographer, you're not alone. You got a photographer, a stylist, a makeup artist, and you, and somebody, they just know to come together as a team. And when you have this serendipity moment of them, everybody knowing and everybody getting together and creating something spectacular, that's the ultimate euphoric satisfaction I get when I'm on set, is when everybody comes together and we all do a great job together. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what it's about. It's I would say it's equivalent to being a musician, is when you're playing with other musicians who just get it, and you start, like, you get those moments that everybody's like one in the music. So that's how I feel with my career as well as an actor and a model, is when you're on set with people and everything just comes together, and the quality is just there, and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing. It's sort of almost like you said, kind of like an orchestra when it comes together and plays a beautiful piece, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have any advice for people that are looking to start either in the acting or in the modeling areas? Do you have any advice for people that are looking to start
Yeah,
out?
absolutely. Just, if you're really passionate about it and you feel it in you, just believe. That's the only thing. Just believe in yourself, believe in it. And hopefully, I'm still learning, and I'm still progressing, and I don't think I'll ever be at the top of my mountain. It's infinite. However, I believe, and I keep going, and I try my best, and that's the best you can do,
Yeah.
is just to try your best and to keep working at it and believing. That's the only thing I could think of saying to anybody,
Do you think that a lot
with anything that you do.
of course. I was just
Yeah,
going to say, do you think that a lot of people, because you said it is so competitive, get very discouraged in those times that there's a lot of rejection? Like, do you find that?
absolutely. And these are tests that you go through. But like I said, I use that as all the down times as inspiration. And when I got a good time, those downtimes made the good times feel so euphoric to me, so happy for me. It's different for everybody's journey, I believe, is very different. And I can only tell you how it went for me. And there's also a big change in the industry too now. It's not going to happen the same way for other people as it happened for me.
Yeah.
So I feel that it, the best way to deal with any um journey is to take solid steps, do things right. um don't try to skip steps, do the work, and then you'll have solid ground.
It's great advice. That's
Yeah,
awesome advice. You can apply that to just about anything in your life, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like anything. I was just a regular person. Like, I had a picture here of myself, like just regular without modeling. When I was young, this was me. Like in Japan, I was just a regular, really shy, just a
Yeah.
regular girl. And this is the same girl that's in those posters. It's just, you know,
Transformed.
yeah, it's not even transformed. This was her.
Yeah.
But somehow, it's when you're passionate about something, I'll say just go for it. No regrets.
That's beautiful. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself heading in the near future? Do you have anything? I know you probably can't say, but do you have kind of like a focus that you're looking at?
Yes, I'm focusing more on acting right now. It's a very, very difficult craft, and I love it. And same thing, I'm just doing the steps. I'm just following my dream. I'm doing what I can to move forward. I love acting just as much as I love modeling, and I want to integrate more into doing more acting work. Um, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done and to get better and better. And also, I'm focusing on and also just being happy, in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's all I can. That's all I'm doing right now is just working on my craft. I'm just continuing the same journey. I don't have interest in other things, honestly.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I obviously wish you all the success that you deserve. I mean, you've just been amazing. And like I've been following you now for quite some time. We've been friends for a while and chatting and stuff. And I cherish your friendship and your time on here with me. And I'm very excited to see where you're headed and your future projects and everything. So I'll definitely be following you. And definitely, I'm sure viewers here will definitely be following you as well and, taking your advice. I think that everything that you've said, you can apply to everyday life and whatever people are working on and working towards. I mean, you're working on your goals and dreams. It's all excellent advice. So
Oh, thank you, B. Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
thank you so much. I'm honored that you came on and took the time. I appreciate it. And we'll definitely have you on like, a few months down the road, see where you're at and see what's happening and have you back and you can kind of give us updates. That'd be
Oh, for sure. I would love to. Thank you so much.
okay. Anything else you want to share with the viewers before we
I
wrap?
had a whole bunch of stuff here. I have too many pictures of me. Like, too much. I'll just share my last. This is my most recent. This is my composite now, Dina Renon, and I'm with Specs in Montreal and Le Drew Models in Toronto. So, and I'm also with LMO Talent as an actress in Montreal.
Very nice.
Oh,
That's a
thank you.
very elegant picture of you right there. It's just very elegant. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is me
Classy.
now. Thank you so much for having me, B. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. And we'll talk soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Thank you.